Hello my frugal friends, welcome back to our place. If you guys are new here and we haven't had the chance to hang out before, welcome. My name is Nikki, I'm an Aussie mum and I love sharing all of the tips and tricks that have helped our family budget better, demolish all of our debt, skyrocket our savings and still have heaps of frugal fun along the way. And look, the reality is one of the big ways that we did rein in our family's expenses was in the kitchen. It's probably no short of a lie to say that feeding a family is not necessarily a cheap exercise. But there are some things that we can do that really do help rein in that old grocery budget and really do make a big difference to our bottom line. So today's video, I'm going to show you some of the tips and tricks that I have for meal planning. I know that meal planning can seem like a really overwhelming exercise, but it really does make a huge difference to not only our grocery budget, because if we're only buying the things that we're going to use and that we need, then, you know, obviously our grocery budget is a little bit lower. We're not wasting food. We're not basically just throwing money in the bin because we're buying things that we're not using. It also helps save our sanity a little bit too, because when the kids come to you at 5:30 and they're, "Mom, what's for dinner? I'm hungry." Well, you know exactly what you're going to do. So you can plan ahead, you can even pre-prep some things if you know what's going on. But mostly, if the decision has been taken out of the equation from that pressure point time, like if you're making that decision, say on a Sunday afternoon, when it's nice and easy and relaxed and you're not under the pump, then we're going to be making better decisions and easier decisions moving forward because it's not under the pressure, if you know what I mean. But I will be the first to admit to you guys, when I first started meal planning, it was really overwhelming. It was really hard. I've found a system that works for us, which I'm going to walk you guys through today, not work you guys through. Well, you can work through it if that's what you want to do, but I will explain it to you in today's video. And hopefully you guys will find maybe a few tips and tricks in there that might make meal planning a little bit easier for you. You don't have to do it exactly the same way that we do it, but these are the things that I found that have helped make the whole process a little bit easier and less overwhelming, because I really do believe that meal planning and just thinking out exactly what we're doing with our food has definitely helped us rein in our grocery budget by setting a grocery budget and then using the things that we already have at home in the fridge, freezer and pantry to build a meal plan. And all I'm doing at the supermarket is filling in the gaps. Then that allows room in our grocery budget to go and buy things when they are marked down or they're half price, you know, picking up those marked down stickers when you see them. I know that I have that room in my budget because I already know what we're going to eat for the week and how much it's going to cost me to fill in the gaps. And so then I know how much I have left over in my budget, if that makes sense. It's sort of this big revolving circle of bits and pieces that feed into each other that help the whole system work, and meal planning is a big part of it. Just going and buying stickers that are marked, things that are marked down or things that are on special, and not really having a plan or knowing how you're going to use them or when you're going to use them is, in a sense, a waste of money itself, because you're tying up some of your family's funds and budget in things that are just going to sit on the shelf in the pantry or sit in the freezer and not be used. So sometimes that sort of stockpiling can just be as wasteful as buying stuff that you don't use and throwing it into the bin because you're buying it and you're not using it and it's just sitting in storage. But that is getting way off track. Why don't I turn this around? I will show you how I go about meal planning. This isn't going to be our meal plan for this week. This is going to be different. and I'm not going to walk you through the process of meal planning this week. I do have some other videos where I walk you through the entire process, so if you want to see it from start to finish, you can. These are some extra things that do go on in the background that I don't always talk about, but make a huge difference to my meal planning experience, that make it easier to sit down and do it. So let's jump in and have a look. All right, so this is a new system that I've started using this year. New in that it's in a notebook. Before it was just on pieces of paper. So this just keeps everything together. And basically what I'm doing is keeping a list of things that I know that I need to use up that are in our freezer, and creating a meal plan for the week. Then I can go and work out between what I've planned based around the things that I have already over here, what I still need to go and purchase. Sometimes I jot down things that I see in the catalog that are worth picking up, and I just take this whole thing to the supermarket with me when I go, and then I can cross off the things that I purchase, and I can also cross off the things that I use throughout the week over here, and it's a bit of a running list, which makes things so much easier. So this is probably a better example for you guys. You can see that I've meal planned, I've written down the ingredients that I'm going to need, and made a list of things that I need to purchase, and then I keep my running list over here of things that I need to use up. And as I buy more things that are marked down, I can just add them to the end of my use it up list. So that's pretty straightforward. Didn't do a lot of planning that week, but you know what? That is what happens sometimes. So this system has been really helpful, and definitely having this with me at the supermarket. So if I see things that are marked down, I know what I've already got in my freezer. So if I have a ton of sausage rolls in there that I know that need to be used up, I'm not going to buy a bunch more if I haven't used them for a while. So this is the first thing, is just having this system where I keep a list of the stuff that I have, particularly in the freezer. It is a chest freezer, so you know, you get things on top of other things and then it's hard to see what's down the bottom. This list really helps, so I don't have to empty out the freezer every week to see what's still in there. Working out a weekly meal plan around the things that I already have, and then writing a list of things that I actually need to purchase, but then taking all of this with me to the supermarket so that I'm clear on what we're having, what I need in each one, what I need to purchase, maybe some things that are on special that I might want to think about picking up, but also that list of stuff that I've already got. So this is definitely helpful, but coming up with this list can still be really overwhelming. Like, what are we going to have? I'm going to need to pick 7 things. What are we going to have? And this next thing that I'm going to show you guys is something that I've been playing with for about 12 months. It has taken us a while to get to a point where we have something that really works for us. But this is a bit of a master plan. So I work through a system of trying to keep things interesting and not the same thing all the time by rotating through our bases. I've probably spoken to you guys about this before. I don't mind if we eat chicken twice in one week, but I like to rotate through the bases. So our bases that we rotate through are a vegetable base, a rice base, a pasta base. We like to include something that's fun once a week. We like to include a use it up dinner once a week that's sort of unplanned a little bit, in that I'm not going to go and purchase things or buy things. This is just going to be a use it up night. And then with that, we like to balance something, not only the fun, we call it a feast. So we have a feast night and we have a frugal night, and there are 7 different types of dinners. I am talking primarily about dinners here in this video, but we can talk about breakfast and lunch and snacks in a different video. But that's what we work through, and it doesn't actually matter which night these fall on, other than probably we like to have Friday night fun, but it doesn't necessarily have to be locked in there. And then we try to keep our use it up night towards the end of our shopping week. So if I was to go shopping on a Wednesday, Tuesday would be my use it up night, if that makes sense. So it doesn't necessarily have to be Meatless Monday or anything like that. The vegetable night does not necessarily have to be on a Tuesday. We can swap all of that sort of stuff around, but the idea is once a week we have something that's frugal, a vegetable-based meal, a rice-based meal, a pasta-based meal, something fun, our feast night, and of course a use it up night. Now within that, what I've done is come up with a 4-week plan so that each one of these has a different type of meal. So this essentially could be an entire month, a 28-day plan without actually planning any specific meals. So in our vegetable Tuesday vegetable nights, we could do a soup or a stew, meat and veg, jacket potatoes, salad or a vegetable toss or a tray bake. They're all sort of similar, or a casserole or a shepherd's pie. So I've sort of grouped things that are similar together. Soup and stew, they're sort of similar. Meat and veg or a jacket potato, they're sort of similar. A salad or a veggie toss or a tray bake are very similar, and then a casserole or shepherd's pie. And again, the same thing with rice. So it could be a stir fry or a curry. It could be a risotto. We do noodles or some sort of beans and rice type dish. So this thing here, I will hold this up if you guys actually want to take a screenshot or anything like that. If you wanted to incorporate something similar like that, hopefully I'm holding that still enough. So if you wanted to screenshot that, you could, and use that as a base to start planning out your meals. Now, the interesting thing is that there are no actual recipes in this at all. So when it's stir fry night, for example, that could be a chicken and cashew stir fry, it could be beef and broccoli, it could be whatever you wanted it to be. Your soup could be a vegetable soup, a chicken noodle soup, it could be a potato and bacon soup. That doesn't matter. But the idea for each one of these has already been started. I just need to pick which actual recipe we're going to do. It's pizza night. So we're going to do homemade pizzas. Is it going to be takeaway? Are we going to do pizzas on wraps? Am I going to make the bases? There is still some decisions that need to be made, but it's so much easier because I already have a basic game plan from the get-go when I come over here to actually create my list of things that we are going to have that week. Now, what I do like to try and do, although it doesn't always happen, so this is not a perfect system. This is not a locked in stone system. It's the first week of March, so therefore we have to do a soup on the first Tuesday of the month. It doesn't work like that. We can swap and chop and change between any of these. But if I'm sitting down and it's Thursday, pasta day, and we're going to have pasta again, we're not eating spaghetti for the third week in a row because there are other things that I can choose from when it comes to pasta. Maybe it's baked this time and we can jump around like that. But that is our secret, or not so secret, meal plan master list of ideas. So there you go. Hopefully that helps somebody out this week with some ideas for what's for dinner Wednesday, because you know that is a battle that we all face every single week. What's for dinner? All right, well, there you go. There are some of the things that I do to just take some of the decision fatigue out of meal planning, and just having that basic plan of, all right, I know each week I want to incorporate a dish that's based around rice, a dish that's based around pasta, etc., makes that easier in itself, because that decision has already been made. I just need to start picking the specifics. So then I can go to the catalogs, I can see what's in season, what vegetables are going to be on special. I can have a look through my list of goodies in the freezer and see what I have that needs to be used up or that I've already purchased, and I can start putting ideas together. If I know that I'm trying to come up with a stir fry and I know that I have some chicken in the freezer and I know broccoli is going to be a good price at the supermarket, then maybe it's a chicken and broccoli. You can see how it starts to sort of almost, the pieces start to fit together themselves, and it takes a lot of the strain off me by having a basic plan in place. So if you wanted to start implementing something like this at your house, I suggest sitting down and having a look at the sorts of things that you like to eat regularly and talking to your family and family members about perhaps some of their favorite things that they would like to incorporate in a meal plan, and just start to come up with a bit of a list of meal ideas, a bank of ideas that you can fall back on perhaps in those times when you're trying to fill in the gaps in your meal plan and you're just short of ideas. You just don't know what to put down on Saturday because it's just so far away. That is definitely a good starting place. And then if you can start to sort of categorize those meals, you will end up with a bit of a monthly master meal plan like what we've got. That's basically what I did. I just started to jot down the things that we liked, the ideas that we had, and then I just started to categorize like things together. And then the whole thing sort of fell into place. And then that's what I use to begin my brainstorming when I sit down and want to do a weekly meal plan. Well, I hope today's video was helpful. I hope you guys have found perhaps a new way or a different way to go about meal planning. Hopefully you find that this helps relieve a little bit of the pressure and the stress and the strain of meal planning. That is definitely the intention for this video, because these tips have definitely made a huge difference for me and made meal planning a lot easier, but also a lot more productive as well when we're looking at using a system like this to ensure that we are working through the things that we already have on hand in our fridge, freezer, and our pantry. Well, that's it from me today. As always, if you did enjoy today's video, if you could please give it a thumbs up. I really do appreciate that. If you use any of these tips, if you try them, I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. Let me know if you already do something similar to this. What are your tips and tricks that you've found that have been really successful and helpful with meal planning? Or if you've never had a go at meal planning and you decide to take the plunge and use a few tips from today's video, I would love to hear from you too. So let me know in the comments how you guys go. Well, I hope you have a fantastic week, and I do hope to see you in my next video. Until then, take care. Bye.